The gargoyles suck. I thought I would only have to fight them once, but they put a gargoyle here, a gargoyle there. Literally all over this stupid world are stupid gargoyles. Welcome back, Classic Crew, to my Elden Ring adventure as I update you on my journey to slay all bosses with no summons. It is my first playthrough, and for some reason I decided to do this, but I should probably change the pledge to slay all gargoyles because it's turning out that there's just gargoyles all over this stupid map. So I met my first real gargoyle was in the capital city, and it was an optional boss. It wasn't even a boss. I'm like, where's my potion? And then I adventured a little bit and came across a nice gargoyle in the aqueduct, which was a fair fight until he came up with a buddy, and then they just bullshitted all that poison onto me. If you want my thoughts on that, go check out the last journal. And now, since then, I've come across a gargoyle in Caelid. I've come across a gargoyle in the Forgotten Lands. Gargoyles are absolutely horrendous. I hate them. They're hard to fight, and I'm learning that I'm not the only one, because I'm usually, when I get beaten up in these games, the chat, my Twitch chat, is pretty empathetic. No, they're actually not empathetic. They're very trolly. They're like, oh, you suck, Jay, you're bad, what are you doing? And they're just piling on the negativity. And then there's a few voices in there that are like, but when it comes to the gargoyles, I'm not hearing that from chat. They're all like, yeah, I hate those. I hate those gargoyles. Those gargoyles are bullshit. So I feel this is something that we can all agree on, that gargoyles are just absolute trash. Now, are they trash because they're poorly designed? No, I'm just speaking from a very emotional place that I just hate them because they keep hurting me. Now, that said, I killed 3 gargoyles. So, take that. So this past week, I have done a lot of slaying. There are 7 bosses that I have found and slain, bringing our total count of felled bosses to 70. I've explored Caelid in a lot more detail. I've gone around and knocked off a few bosses I came across previously. I've explored the Forbidden Lands only to nope out of there so fast because that place hurts. And finally, I found a big snake. I mean, it looks like a dick. I don't know. Some people don't see it, but I saw that. I was like... So let me walk you through how this went for me. The first thing was, okay, let's look at the map. What should I do? Where should I go? Last time I opened up the way to the Forbidden Lands, but I'm like, I don't feel like I want to go there. I feel like there's a lot I miss. And Caelid specifically is an area where I've been avoiding it because it just kind of scarred me at the beginning of my journey. I was like, nope, I don't want to go there. So I went back. I was like, oh yeah, there's the death root guy. We got a bunch of death root to give him. So I went there, gave him the death root. He gave me a bunch of things, including bestial vitality, which is basically a spell which lets me heal my HP as I go. And it was all good until I walked away from him about to leave, noticed that the thing that's standing outside is actually a gargoyle, the Black Blade Kindred. And I was planning, I was scheming, I'm like, okay, how am I going to take this gargoyle? I can probably take him from the back. And then all I hear is like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh, what is this? What is this? I turn around to find this massive death root guy just like going berserk on me. And I'm like, whoa, my God, what? So he's destroying everything and I'm just trying to dodge. And my heart is like, pretty much leaping out of my chest at this point because I was not expecting this thing to move. I thought he was an innocent NPC who just wanted death root, but now he's berserk, he's frenzied. I gave him too much death root and he looks at me and he's like, oh, that's a fine piece of death root right there. So now that I know that he's a threat, I GTFO out of his room very fast. Luckily the doors hold him in. I tried to cheese him, but it didn't work. He could still reach me even though I had my whips. I went after the Black Blade Kindred and he deletes my health with the press of a button. So I was like, nope, I'm not ready for this. I don't want to do this. So I kept going and exploring this region, which I learned is the Dragon Barrow or something, or Burrow. And there I came across another putrid avatar. Not the first time I come across these, so boom, boom, deleted that. And then I came across with a castle. I was like, oh, cool, what's in this castle? And I got my health. I came across some vampires that just sucked me to death so fast. Like, usually when these things latch onto you, it just kind of like, your health goes like chunk, chunk, chunk. But in this case, it just goes and you're dead. Outside this castle, I came across a massive dragon corpse. I didn't even think it was a corpse at first. I thought it was part of the decor until I got close to it and it was breathing. And then I hit it and I saw like low HP. I was like, oh no, what is this? And so I kept wailing on it. And then the whole chat got a little upset about this because I was wailing on it for a while and I didn't realize my bleed proc was taking effect and like was taking big chunks of health off of this thing. So I'm like, oh, I can kill this thing. So I was going away at it and they're like, no, you're doing it wrong. You have to go around the face and you have to kill it there. So I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on there. So in front of the face was 7 little black dragons that also delete my HP with one hit. I was like, you guys are dumb. Why am I going to fight this dragon in the front where there's all of this pain when I can just keep smacking it in the back and winning that way? And so I learned afterwards that the chat was just trying to show me the mechanic of this fight, which is for every time you slay the black dragons, you get some HP removed from the big white one. But I'm like, oh, cool mechanic. I don't need that though. I got my bleed weapon and I deleted him that way. And when he died, all the other black dragons died. And I got another dragon heart, but otherwise nothing really exciting out of that. So it was a bit of a buzzkill because the chat was really upset with how I did it. And I was just like, well, I got nothing out of this. So off we go. The Celia, Town of Sorcery, which is a place I completely overlooked the first time I came here because I was super underleveled. But before I went in there, I found a Everjail, and there I found our boy Hughes, who was a battle mage, and he also got deleted fast. So another boss on the counter. I didn't have much to say. He had some pretty hard-hitting spells, but as most mages do, they hit hard, but then they fall pretty fast afterwards to my sword. In the Town of Sorcery, I've learned what I needed to do. I was a lot more leveled up so I could do everything. So I lit all the torches at the top of the town, came across a dude who's like, oh, my daughter or something, this girl, she's got like scarlet rot. We need a gold needle to save her. So I went off into the swamp and we explored it until I came across Commander O'Neill, which had a super epic song. Pretty fun fight. And I got him on my first try, and he drops the golden needle, which lets you heal Millicent, which is the one with the scarlet rot, and then she gives you something. I think it starts her quest line or something. I don't know. She said she'd do something, but I don't know what she's doing. So someone's gonna have to help me out with that. From there, what else was there? Oh, there was another boss in that area that I had completely missed previously, and that's where we found the Nox Swordstress and the Nox Monk. Interesting duo. I was definitely way over leveled for this part, and they just fell really hard, but it looked like they had some cool mechanics. Afterwards, I was like, oh, well, where do we go now? Because I feel like I didn't want to explore Dragon Barrel much more because I feel really underleveled and underprepared for that. And the rest of Caelid has been pretty much explored for the most part. I don't feel like there's a major area missing. So I was like, okay, what else can we do? Now, the Falling Star Beast has always been one that I want to go back and fight, who is outside the capital city. So I went back with my double whips because I figured whips are more effective on stone boys. And yeah, it was a good fight. This one was way more like keeping me on my toes. I wasn't overpowered. He wasn't overpowered. I almost died at the end. He was like about to hit me, and I luckily panic screamed out of there and was able to whip him back. So I killed the Falling Star Beast, another one for the counter. And in this area, there was also a cave I hadn't explored where I got a bunch of stones to help upgrade my stone level 4 and 5, I think. Actually, I think I got the bell bearing, which lets me buy smithing stone 4 and 5. So unlocking that so I can upgrade more goodies. And there was an Onyx Lord, which also these cave bosses are not usually very, like, they don't stand out much. It was a unique boss for me. Cool design, but ultimately fell pretty quick. So from there, I was like, okay, let's progress the story. Let's move things forward. I feel like I've cleaned up a lot of things I had left behind. Now there's a lot of other stuff. And so to the Forbidden Lands I went. Everything's full of snow. It's hard to see. And here there's like little gargoyle things that just jump you. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of annoying. They've got like the stomp thing and there's like wind that comes at you and it hurts you so much. Those guys, I got over it. Like I found a way to fight them, but it really got like the bullshit meter just like went to the top when I found my first ruins and it was pretty empty. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And there were these ice dudes and I fought these guys in the jail in the Southern Peninsula way early on in my playthrough, but these guys are on a whole other level. I can barely hurt them and they just destroy me. So that's my first impression of the Forbidden Lands, and it is not nice. I also came across another one of those knights, not the night knights, but like a knight that comes out at night. And I was doing okay. I was gonna kill him until the little imp dudes ganked me, and I lost. And then it was daytime, so the night knight didn't show up anymore. As I made my way to the lift here, that's where I came across another gargoyle, the Black Blade Kindred, but this one was a lot easier than the one that I met in Caelid, luckily. Still pretty intense fight. I lost maybe once or twice, but I was able to maneuver. Like, dealing with one of these is a lot more manageable than dealing with two of them that are spewing poison. Also, the poison thing seems very unique to the duo in the Aqueduct, which is the move I actually hate the most. If it wasn't for that poison, I might not hate them as much, but oh man, I hate that poison attack. So anyways, I didn't really explore Forbidden Lands because I was just getting destroyed, but someone reminded me I did have a quest in the Forbidden Lands to hunt down a bounty on Juno Hoslov. He's a whip boy. He was a fantastic fight to fight. I really enjoyed it. And his reward for killing him, well, you get his armor, but when you bring back the bounty, I got a new whip, and it is nice. It is a whip with like chains on it. It replaced my old like leather whip, and so now I've got like a chain whip and a fire whip, and I'm just whipping everything. It feels good. So I went back to the manor. I'm like, all right, who are we gonna whip in here? And because I complete all the bounties, I could actually go now to the God-devouring serpent, or Rykard, I think his name is. So another demigod has been unlocked for me. And this fight was really rough at first because I picked up the weapon when I came in. I swung it a few times. I'm like, oh, I don't like this. And so I went back to my whips and my Bloodhound sword, and I tried fighting Rykard a few times. I was like, oof, I'm barely doing damage on this boy. What's going on? And I died a few times, and people were like, oh my goodness, Jay, like, use the freaking weapon they gave you in the boss fight. I'm like, okay, but this thing looks like huge garbage. And so I realized it's when you start, like, you actually initiate the fight, you get this massive, like, wind blast out of the weapon, which reaches Rykard. You don't have to wait for him to come to you. And I'm like, are you serious? Oh! And that's when he like inverts himself and turns himself into a very dick-like monster, which just everything about him was disgusting. And I was in so much shock at what he looked like and the fact that this fight wasn't over. I died. And then I'm like, that's it. We're calling it a night. So that's what I have left next. Rykard is probably going to go down. I'm pretty sure a few more rounds with him. I've upgraded that weapon to the max of what I could upgrade it, so I can do a lot of damage. And then after that, I'm probably going to explore a little bit more of Limgrave. I heard there's some areas I missed. I might go back to those stupid gargoyles, because right now the Forbidden Lands really feel forbidden to me because, damn, everything hurts in there. So I'm going to buff up a little bit more. I'm at level 90 now, so I went up 6 more levels, getting close to that level 100. And I'm at 70 bosses felled, 59 of which are unique, so we're getting very close. We're getting somewhat close to that 100 mark. I think there's 165 or something like that, or 145. There's a lot of bosses to go. So I am far from completing this journey, but hopefully you will stick around as I continue progressing. I might see you on stream or on the next journal, and until next time, keep it classy. Do 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 do. Subscribe.